Welcome to District 4, the best place to be for information and news. I'm your host, A Love. I'm here with our resident expert, A-Rod. We're going to take a break a little bit from the news side and do a little bit of information. We're going to talk about gaming. Gaming is a huge industry, whether you're a casual gamer or a hardcore gamer. This is going to be the show of information for you. And at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the game that may never be made. Stick around. Let's talk about it. I try to make it exciting. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been gaming and what, like, predominantly do you play? Like, majority of games?
I've been playing since I was about 3 years old. She games, my dad games, so my brother does, I do. So we started really young. We played a whole bunch of games, sometimes Resident Evil at a young age, which isn't suggested. But that's pretty much what we did in this game pretty much all the time.
So, like, how many years you think?
Well, at
Like
this
forever.
point, 23.
Yeah, right. You're like forever.
Yeah, at this point, a really long time. Yeah, 23. I mainly play sports and fighting games. I'm not a big fan of shooting games. I feel like there's too much iffy stuff that happens when it comes to shooting games.
Yeah.
With hitting targets and doing no damage. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much sports and fighting games.
Okay, so I have for you something. We're gonna talk overrated. You're gonna say a game, and we're gonna say whether it's overrated or underrated. Just make it a little fun for you guys in the audience. Okay, so let's start with like one game, the first one. Fortnite. Okay, what is Fortnite for those of you that don't?
So it's a battle royale game. So there's like 100 people, and you have to be the last person to survive. You can build to cover yourself. You can pick up weapons. There's different, like, I guess, levels of weapons. So gold being the best, and like, you know, white would be common, green, blue. You know, there's different levels of the weapons.
So do you think it's? I'm almost scared to ask. Overrated or underrated?
It's overrated.
It's overrated.
Yeah, it's easily overrated.
Why do you say?
Well, it's not consistent with the damage. So again, you can have let's say I have a blue shotgun. I can shoot you in the head one time, it'll do 8 damage, but the next time it'll do 100. Like, why does that vary so much? That's a big range, right? Yeah. That could be life or death when there's only 200 health. And I do 8 damage, we both shot each other, but you did way more than me with the same gun.
Right.
That's silly. But they update it too much. They update it every week. And so you can't get a consistent feel for the game. So one time this gun could be really good, and then a week later it could be terrible. And it's like, now you have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to redo everything again. They fix, like, with building and stuff and the way damage happens, like when they nerf all this stuff all the time, like, it's not a consistent game to me.
Which for gaming is not good, but the developers may have been thinking that it would, I don't know, make it more exciting.
I mean, I guess it refreshes the game in a sense. To
Yeah.
kind of like, you still have to do different. You like, there's still the base where, you know, if you're not good at building, you're probably not going to be very good at the game. But other than that, it's kind of like every other week. It's like, I don't even know what I'm playing anymore.
Okay, so underrated, overrated. Okay, so overrated. Sorry. Let's do. We're gonna do 5. So what's the next one?
Okay, NBA 2K21 next gen.
Okay, for those people that can't figure that one out,
So
it's
an NBA game. And you play basketball, NBA. You pretty much, most people do what they call my career. So you make a player, you like get them up to the highest rating you can. And you play against other players in the park or whether that's the rec. So 3v3, 5v5, 2v2, 1v1. And that's pretty much kind of how it goes. There's no like ranking system. Well, there's a 3v3 Pro-Am, which there is a ranking system, but at a certain point it takes forever to get matches. So there's always that. But yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the game.
That's the basics. And they put out one every year.
Yeah, every year.
Okay, so this year's, is this the recent one you're talking about? Is it overrated or underrated?
It's overrated.
Oh.
They hyped it up, like, when you watch like the videos and stuff, they hyped it up. Like, oh, y'all ain't gonna believe what we got going on
This
here.
is happening.
Okay?
This is the best game ever.
You gonna wish you never bought another game after this. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
And then you gotta pay for it.
And the first thing they had was, first of all, people's players are getting deleted. So for those who don't know, you start off at a 60 overall.
Yeah.
In order to beat even able to play the game. It pretty much costs you $74 to buy it, and then another $50 to make your player, to have enough virtual currency in order to upgrade your player so you can play them.
Wow.
So if you spend $120 something and you can't use the player,
oh, what?
right? And the thing about it was they weren't able to get people's players back this year, so you had to start all over.
So you had to start.
Exactly. So
Oh,
the
that's
thing about
just
it
wrong.
is
Developers. No.
that ain't it. But if you hear me, that ain't it. But you have to work to get like your badges. So like there's shooting badges that help you shoot better. You know, finishing, playmaking, defending. Those are 4 types of badges. And if you get all these badges and it takes you, a week to do it, then you got to start all over.
Then you have to start all over.
And you don't even get your money back. It's kind of like, okay, so that's
So-
part of the problem. But the gameplay is too easy. There's no like skill gap, so you can't tell a good player from a bad player. They just come on the game and like it's almost like everybody has an opportunity, even if you have like absolutely no like IQ in playing the game. You just have a chance because of the way the game makes you play. Like you can take a bad shot, but it'll go on because 2K's like, nah, we got you. Like, no, like a bad shot's a bad shot for a reason. So
would that be overrated for hardcore gamers and okay for casual gamers?
pretty much,
That
like
sounds pretty good.
if you don't like if you don't care for like
play sports.
competitiveness or anything,
Yeah.
you can kind of just hop on there and just play.
Just start
And you're gonna be all right.
wasting up some
You're gonna
time.
beat some people that you probably shouldn't beat just by throwing up some stuff. But if you want like a competitiveness to it, it's a waste.
It's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't even buy it.
Oh wow, you wouldn't even
I
buy
wouldn't.
it.
So I wouldn't even buy
Yeah,
it.
so it's
The current gen 2K is more consistent than the next gen.
Oh, that's some good advice right there.
Mhm.
Saves you some money because that
Yeah.
sounds ridiculously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got number 3,
Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. Tell a little bit about the game.
So it's a battle royale game too. They have different characters with different abilities. There's 60 people instead of 100. They felt like that was too much, but you pretty much like same thing. You find weapons. There's different levels to the weapons. You get armor and stuff. There's different levels to the armor. They have like different seasons. So their seasons last a couple months instead of every other week like Fortnite. There's a couple months, so they'll change like in very, very important things, like if there's glitches, like if your player gets stuck or something like that, they'll fix that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a shooting game predominantly, and you can't build in this one either.
You can't build it.
Mm-mm.
Could you build in the one before?
You can build in Fortnite. And you build cover and stuff, but you can't build in this one.
Do you think it's overrated or underrated?
I think it's underrated.
It's underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I don't think like enough people like play the game because people are so hooked on Fortnite. Like a lot of people don't even give the other one a chance. Like, oh well, it's not as popular. So
Right.
and it's like it's a lot more consistent in its damage as far as shooting people. The abilities work more consistently. There's like less glitchy stuff that you can do. Like sometimes the stuff people can do in Fortnite as far as like editing, they can edit like 100,000 times to the point where the game glitches and it delays.
Oh wow.
And it's like building after they've stopped.
Yeah.
So like that type of stuff isn't in there. More than likely, like if you have better stuff, you're more likely going to win. More consistently. But the better player typically wins in that game, even if somebody else has better stuff. Like the better player typically wins, and you'll be able to tell who's actually good at the game. Versus like Fortnite, some people will win, but they've been hiding all game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or you know how to build so you can avoid damage, but you run. But like with Apex, it takes more skill. You have to use like actual movement and stuff like that. So I think it's underrated.
So you're liking the challenge.
Yeah, I think it's more challenging.
But people mostly play the original one?
Well, Fortnite came out first.
Yes, and they play that one versus the second
Mhm.
because they feel like it's just a better.
I guess
It's
I honestly
comfort.
think Fortnite's just because of hype.
Okay,
Because other people play it, so everybody started playing it.
got
I don't know.
it. All right. I have an interesting fact. I know that I talked earlier about the game that may never be made,
Mhm.
and it's still in development. And so some of you might already know this scenario, but I'm gonna spell it out because I was fascinated when I read it because I couldn't believe that this was actually going on. But it's been in development for 10 years. Okay, I don't know if that's normal or not, but that seems like a long time. It's got 328 million, I'm reading because I couldn't believe the numbers. 537 employees working, past employees said what felt like around the clock hours. And a good example of that, a lot of the employees quit, and one in particular because he worked on the characters for 17 months, and then when he went, to present them, they told him to make all new ones. So it's still in development now, and they're asking for more money, and it's not even close to being completed. So my question to you is,
Well, what's the name of the game?
Well, the name of the game is, I was going to say it, it's Star Citizen.
Okay.
I have to tell you the name because it's not made. It's not even out. What do you think, considering there are games like Sonic the Hedgehog 6 and Mass Effect that weren't even completed and were put out?
So my thing is this: it depends on what's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So without having an understanding of the game, it can take a long time. Like Grand Theft Auto, the new one, Grand Theft Auto 6, that's supposed to be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They take about 6 to 7 years to make.
Okay.
But that's because they add so much detail. Like remember in 5, there's literally the Beverly Center.
Yes, I think the best was San Andreas.
Everybody said that.
I
That was the
hate to
best one.
say it, no disrespect to the rest of them, but I was on San Andreas
That's
every
the first one
second.
you could swim and
Yeah,
stuff, but,
every second.
Like the amount of detail they put in Grand Theft Auto, like they make houses look like the ones that are
Yes.
actually in. Like
It's true.
when you go to Hollywood,
Right.
well, whatever they call it.
they
But
Woodwood.
Woodwood or whatever. But it looks actually
It does.
like the place, and like I actually found where I used to live in Beverly
Right,
Hills on the
right.
game. I was like, that was our legit house. So I was like, the amount of detail they put makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But depending on what that is, it can take that long. Mass Effect doesn't have, it's all generated world, so you can kind of like, you don't have to like know what the actual places look like, so you can just change it on a whim. But a lot of other games like take old stuff like they had, like Madden does that. That's why I can't stand Madden. They'll take like old stuff and just like re-put it in the game,
Right.
but name it something different.
You're like,
We
you're
got
not gonna
this
notice.
shit. And 2K does the same thing. They added new contact dunk animation, so that's like posterizing stuff.
Right.
But they added Lob City contact dunks, so you can get a contact dunk with a lob.
Oh.
But it's the same animations as the regular ones. They just, but you can
Yeah.
see like he pretends like he has the ball, but he doesn't have the ball, and then
Right.
he jumps. It's like, okay, so you're just recycling stuff.
Right, you're just recycling. It's
And
not-
trying to trick me to pretend like you added something. So yeah, it depends on, that's what the other games like.
So you don't think that that's kind of outrageous though?
Well, the
Star
fact that they have
Citizen?
nothing to show for it in years, yes, that's a
And
problem.
all of this money, I don't know if I mentioned it, this $328 million is crowdfunded.
Yeah, so that's even worse.
That's even worse.
No
'cause you're
endorsements
thinking
and
about,
nothing.
yes, there's nothing. You
That's
just in
sleazy,
10
yeah.
years.
You'd have to show me a
You
demo
know,
or something.
there- there's no game still, and they're still working on it and asking for more money.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
give me a
like-
run through after 320. See, yeah, I need a run through. Yeah, I got to see some data or something. I got to see how close, how much time.
Give me some, give me
okay.
some. I need some. You guys, they're making that, what's called Star Citizen.
They robbing people. They ain't making that
need you
game.
to- Oh, okay, we don't condone, we cannot confirm nor deny such an allegation.
Okay.
we,
It looks sketchy. I'm gonna put that out there.
the opinions and views of our guest is only.
Okay, all right.
is
That's my
only-
personal opinion. It looked sketchy.
Doesn't express District 4's views, but
Mm-hmm.
he did state that. That's all I'm saying. If you agree with that, put it in the comment section. So let's go down. We're at number 2.
We're at number 4.
We're at number 4.
Yeah. So
Was I going backwards or forwards?
yeah, we did 2 overrated. We did 1 underrated.
Okay.
So I think Mortal Kombat 11.
Mortal Kombat 11.
Mm-hmm.
Tell a little bit about the game as if you don't know.
So
but
it's a
just
fighting
in
game.
case. Yeah.
It's the finish him. That's literally where that comes from. It's Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting game. You fight each other, and then after you win, you have the opportunity to like do a final move to kill the other dude, like chop his head off or something like that.
Hey, and if you don't know the game, you at least know the song.
Yeah, you know the song. It's been out since like the 90s.
Yeah.
And so you've seen it. Or you've been in the cave.
Do
yeah.
you think it's overrated or
I think it's underrated.
underrated?
I think it was probably the most consistent like Mortal Kombat they had.
But they made a movie about it. You're telling me people aren't playing it?
I'm not saying people aren't playing it,
Yeah.
but I'm saying not as many people are playing it as
As
they
they should be playing.
So like Fortnite, the tournament they had was like you made $1.2 million for winning. That's how much that
that's
16-year-old
how
kid
much-
made. So think of all the endorsements and stuff they have
that they
behind it.
have for the game.
Mortal Kombat is fairly popular. But the most you could have made if you won absolutely everything this last season was $80,000.
Oh, so yeah.
So like,
that
look at
is
the financial.
way-
Like, it's not
yeah,
even close.
I
Like,
understand.
they
I feel
can't
you.
even have like $100,000
Right,
tournament.
right.
Like, it's not even Injustice 2. Like, the
That's
tournament.
way low.
The most you can make if you won everything was $350,000. That's a regular day job playing Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Right? So like the payout is so different. So I don't know if they don't have enough endorsements or maybe there's not enough people playing it. But I think it's underrated. I think it's the best one. I think it has the most consistent as far as damage, as far as fighting. Like there's not too many like frame glitches and stuff that you can't do. I like the fact, the one thing I don't like, I will say, is the breakaway system, because somebody can like almost like punish you for hitting them. So you'll hit them, but they'll like break out of it, and then like you'll miss your attack, and then they can just jack you up after that. And it's like, okay, like that doesn't even make sense. Like I'm right, but I'm wrong at the same time.
Right.
And that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But other than that, yeah,
But
I think the game's
it's a
better.
really
I
good
think
game.
not enough people play it.
I love Mortal Kombat. I mean, I'm definitely a fan of the Mortal Kombat. And number 5, Cinco.
You know what? I think Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
So
Tell
it's a killer versus survivor game, I guess. So there's 4 survivors. There's 5 generators. So you pretty much have to like finish all the generators, open up the exit gate, and escape. Obviously, as a killer,
Right.
you gotta kill everybody. That pretty much
It's
makes
not
sense.
for the faint at heart.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different killers, there's a bunch of different survivors, there's abilities and stuff. You're not just running around with the same perks there's a whole bunch of perks. They update the game. They still update it now. The new update's coming out in 2 weeks.
Nice.
But yeah, it's pretty consistent. There are some glitches. There's some, obviously when perks and stuff like come out, or abilities come, there's always going to be abilities that are better than others. But for the most part, it's not like way too overpowered on either side.
Overrated or underrated?
It's actually rated the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, we got a little plot twist. That's what, it's rated the way it should
Yeah,
be.
so it's not like overhyped. It's not underhyped. The way the game plays, like, it's fairly consistent. There are obviously some problems with it. There's sometimes where your abilities don't work and you use them. You're like, okay.
Yeah, you're like,
and now you're dead because like your ability didn't
You're
work.
like, I was trying.
And there's sometimes like there's like totems that you can cleanse to get like points and stuff, or like to stop killer abilities. And sometimes they're in spots that you can't clean it. So like they have a permanent ability that you can't get rid of, or like if you have like traps or something, like there's places where you can't pick up your traps. So you're just like out of an ability for no reason.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, there's some glitches. Like sometimes people will be like floating in the air and you're like, oh, okay, like that's not what we paid for. But it doesn't happen enough to where it's like, oh, this is a huge problem. But other than that, it's pretty balanced. They try to work the best they can to kind of like help out the killer and survivor at the same time.
So I have a question to throw at you. If you were new to gaming, like, okay, you're like finally giving in, you're like, oh my God, the whole world is gaming something. What would you say would be, don't say game, you, just kidding, would be a great place to start, like a video you would think, or a game you would think of that would be like, okay, you can do this. This is really, you can learn the controls. You can kind of, get comfortable with
Well,
it.
it depends on it depends on what type of games you like, though.
Let's say I like.
For me, if I had to suggest a game, I would suggest a shooting game because they're pretty basic. Aim and shoot, and don't get shot. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty much it. Like, with fighting games, there's frame data, there's plus and minus. There's times where you can attack, whose attack does what. But for shooting, like, shoot him and don't get shot. That's pretty much it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I would suggest a shooting game.
So shooting games.
Probably Call of Duty.
For those of you that.
But
Call of Duty's pretty good.
To sneak in something, Call of Duty's overrated.
Call of Duty?
Yeah.
I love what?
So the
Black
new one
Ops is my game.
The new one, Cold War, is overrated, and the Warzone mode, the little battle royale they have, is also overrated. I hate that thing.
But not Black Ops.
But Cold War is Black Ops. It's a new Black Ops. It's over. It's
doing
over.
the original Black Ops.
So, Warzone's pretty much battle royale. There's like 2s, there's 3s, there's 4s. You get some armor and you try to kill everybody.
I'm still depressed because you just said Black Ops was...
It's so tacky.
You said it was bad.
I can't play that stuff.
No.
Because, like, first of all, it's almost like you never have armor on. You put on the armor, but people light you up and you die in about 2 seconds. So it doesn't really matter. You might as well run around without it because you're going to die at the same rate. But also, there's only like 4 good guns. Everything else is like nowhere near close. In scaling, like there's like 4 guns that are like way better than everything else. And then the rest of you are just at a deficit for picking anything else. So you run against the same like loadouts that people pick the same guns, the same perks, and then they run around and who sees somebody first. Like it's so ridiculous. I hate that game.
Hate is a strong word.
I
People
dislike
work very hard.
I dislike aggressively.
Dislike aggressively. Is that a real term?
Yeah, yes. I aggressively dislike.
He aggressively dislikes, I bet. Okay, so I'm going to give you the top 5 that I like for 2021 that are coming out. You know, I don't even think any of these are out yet, but you can tell me if you agree with this.
Okay.
Okay, so Final Fantasy 16. It's happening. That I'm so looking forward to that, to playing that.
I like all the Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
Their story modes take days to beat though.
Yeah, but that's what I think. That's
like,
what's good about it.
It's almost like 200 hours worth of story mode. You can't beat that game quickly. There's no way possible.
But I like that. I like the building. I like the challenge. I just think I'm excited to see that come out. I have God of War 2.
I didn't like the last God of War.
You didn't like the last one? The 2 looks pretty good though.
With the little sorry kid, I don't need that.
You're like, no.
He's useless. He shoots the little arrows in the background. Like, oh, Dad, I'm doing the best I can.
But he was doing the best he could.
Nah. Your dad's a god with supernatural ability, and you're sitting here shooting bow and arrows. Yeah, no, I don't need that.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. So no on the God of War 2?
It depends.
Okay.
They gotta get rid of the kid. That kid gotta go.
Okay, so if the kid's gone,
if he's an adult and he has some powers, okay.
If an adult, if he's grown up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Destruction All Stars.
Never heard of it.
It's like a driving game.
Not too keen on those.
No. Oh, okay.
A lot of driving games aren't very popular though. The one that I did like recent though was Need for Speed Heat. That was a good game.
Oh, that was really good.
That was a really good game.
That was good. I loving that one. Deathloop.
Never heard of it.
No, it's not out yet. It's new. But I'm excited about it because I did see the clips of it and it looked like it was really, really good. But I'm looking forward to more than anything. And I've seen the precursor to this one. It's Ghost War Tokyo.
Okay, what's that about?
Shoot people.
Wow.
I don't know the story.
Great explanation.
I told you I was a casual,
yeah.
but okay, so I'll be honest. I just look at the clips and when they're coming out and I pick the ones I like.
Okay, what did you see
Typical
in the
girl.
clips? What did you see in the clips? Don't just say shoot people.
Well, I mean, that's basically what it was.
Okay.
I thought it was great graphics. I thought it was made really well and it looked like something that I would look forward to, like just following
But
the
you gotta
challenges.
describe it to them. They didn't see the clips.
Oh, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not like you. I'm not like good at describing these games. I was just listing them.
Okay, all right.
Don't call me out. He called me out because I can't describe how to. That's why I have you on here. You're the resident expert. But you haven't seen any of these yet?
No.
I'm looking forward to them.
Okay.
So after being called out, we should probably wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up. He'll be back. We definitely just want to talk a little bit about gaming. I did want to get one of those in for a recent. What am I trying to say? I wanted to get a gaming one in because I knew that the new ones were coming out, and so I wanted to make sure we could review those as well and kind of give you a precursor to what we were doing. Although I couldn't explain my favorite one, I can't put it into words. Okay, next time I'll put it into words. Anything you want to add before we?
Fix 2K. If y'all watch this video, fix that. The whole thing. Fix everything.
I want to add complete star citizen. Let those people stop holding them hostage. Let them go home to their families. Stop it.
Oh, man.
Developers work too hard. I know they get paid well, but let those people
We don't know
go
if they get
home.
paid. We can't even say that.
We don't even know. If
We don't even know. They're just taking money.
they-
No, nothing to show for it. But
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll. Thanks for joining us at District 4. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And there will be more videos, like I said, on gaming and